Ladies and gentlemen, I thought this was going to be a sad video at first, but I am glad some big news has hit our table regarding Star Wars Battlefront 2. For those of you that know my channel, I'm primarily based on Star Wars Galaxies, but I've been waiting for the day to make some Star Wars Battlefront 2 content. I pre-installed the game on Friday, and then I took a break off social media, and I woke up today, got ready for law school, pulled up the news, and I saw there's this huge fiasco regarding Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the mechanism, or the credits I should say, to unlock some of the heroes in the game. Literally minutes before I was about to make this video, there was an official announcement made by the executive producer of Star Wars Battlefront 2 talking about some huge changes to the unlocking structure for this game regarding the number of credits needed to get these heroes. So we're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to go into what built up to this big change, and finally we're going to talk about my personal opinion on this type of unlocking structure for a game of this stature. So let's start off with the official announcement from the EP, the executive producer at DICE, John Vasilchik. He talked about a huge change coming to Battlefront 2. Now, the beginning talks about a lot of mushy stuff, talking about how they're always listening to fans, feedback is important, but the meat of the thing, it comes through the third paragraph here. Pretty much, I'm just gonna read it line by line here. So, we're reducing the amount of credits needed to unlock top heroes by 75%. Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader will now be available at 15,000 credits. Emperor Palpatine, Chewbacca, and Leia Organa, more of your second tier characters, are at 10,000 credits each, and then Iden Versio at 5,000 credits. And based on what we've seen in the trial, the amount will make earning these heroes an achievement, but one that will be accessible for all players. Really big improvement. Man, I'm just really happy to see this because beforehand, I got a screenshot up here to get characters such as Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, two of the most iconic characters in the Star Wars universe. It would take 60,000 credits. To calculate this beforehand, with the 60,000 credits needed, there was a Redditor that posted a nice spreadsheet. I'm going to link it down below. We'll look at it in a second. But they showed that in order to get Darth Vader to 60,000 credits, it would take roughly 40 hours to get a single character, whether that be Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker. And obviously, it's a little bit smaller for Emperor Palpatine and Iden Versio, but still, it was a lot of time needed just to get one character.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So if you want to know how we ended up from 60,000 credits for Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker to 15,000, let's take a look at the history that we have here. A couple days ago, about 2 days ago, a Redditor made a nice detailed post. They got the early access or origin access, whatever the feature is called, and they kind of did a little study, kind of getting an idea of how long it would take to get a hero. Long story short, if you want the quick rundown, an average amount of time needed for a Galactic Assault match would be 11 minutes and 9 seconds, starting from the game to the very end, not including menu times and all that stuff. And the average credits earned per match was about 275. Then they broke it down per minute. How many points per minute are you getting? And roughly on average per minute, you're getting 25.04 average credits. And then when you divide that and total how many credits you need for a hero, it eventually, the math kind of runs down to about 40 hours needed to get a character such as Darth Vader. And of course, this calculation did not include things such as challenges, but we're not sure if they're going to include a lot of challenges. I know there's some challenges at the beginning, but whether there are repetitive challenges, it's not quite known yet. So just in terms of getting points per match, 40 hours of gameplay for one character was a huge amount of time. We don't got all that time in the world here. And before these major changes, to get all the characters we currently have as of now, it would take, the math shows, about 170 hours of gameplay, assuming you don't even buy anything else with your credits, to get all the characters unlocked. Now, I'm going to keep saving my opinion towards the end. I don't want to jump the gun yet. So pretty much after this, there was a huge uproar regarding all of this stuff that we just talked about. 40 hours for a single character was bananas. And then we got an EA response, and it did not go well from there. So obviously there was a lot of uproar regarding this, and yesterday a concerned Redditor kind of followed up and said, I spent $80 on this game, why don't I have Darth Vader unlocked? And we had someone from the EA community team went out there and replied to their comment, and this became the most disliked comment on Reddit ever, to our knowledge at this point. And pretty much it was kind of a neutral comment, but it just said the intent is to provide players a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. And they kind of went on and on and on, and eventually they said, we're gonna monitor feedback, we might make some changes, which ultimately they did, thank goodness. But this became the most disliked comment. 457,000 downvotes on a comment, which as of now, it's apparently believed that this is the most disliked comment on Reddit in history. The main reason why there was such an uproar was kind of two-tailed here. First of all, 40 hours for a character, even assuming there's no paywall, you can't spend to get the character unlocked, is still a lot of time for a single character. Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment, but the average person who's going to be casual with this game, it's going to take a long time. I don't think the average person is going to spend 40 hours to unlock a character, but that's not the only trouble here. The trouble is that indirectly you could monetize characters like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker through the loot crates, which we know is our favorite thing in the game. Back when I went at EA Play, they announced that they aren't going to have a DLC of any sort, no season pass, and I knew there has to be something else, and loot crates were the something else in that regard. Now, you can't get the character straight out of the loot crates, but indirectly, if you get duplicates of an item, you get some credits, and sometimes you get credits such as 200 credits, which becomes an equivalent of doing one Galactic Assault match. But the problem is you got to spend the money to get all those items, then you need to spend more money to get the duplicates, and the thing is, there is a portion of the community that is willing to spend that much money to get Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker really quickly, so it's not out of the ordinary that people would spend that money. But the history has been dark, we got past it, and although I didn't make a video before this, I felt pretty confident that EA was going to come out and make some sort of remedy to this after the huge outlash, especially the comment that became the most disliked comment in Reddit history here. And there's a lot of stuff out there on Reddit when you keep that in mind. I'm happy to see the changes that we got. In Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, you guys who play that game, we've had our own set of controversy. Controversy isn't a new thing to us. Of course, the developers make something, especially for a free-to-play mobile game. They gotta find a way to get money in return. I don't think it's wrong that they want to make money, but the way you go about it is the most important thing, because you want to worry about your public image and the health of the game overall. For example, one of the biggest controversies for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, if you guys remember, was the release of territory battles and finding out we needed a 7-star Hoth Rebel soldier, and that was something that really set people off, because when me and others went to get footage of territory battles, we found out we only needed a 5-star. There was a huge controversy, refunds left and right, kind of the same reaction as Battlefront 2 here, but in the end, EA made a great move, and instead of needing a 7-star character, we only needed a 5-star character, which either saved you hundreds of dollars or perhaps months and months and months of grinding. This is where we start getting into my opinion. Of course, there are people out there who want it to be reduced by 100%. And I get you. We're going to talk about why I get you, but I want to also explain why you might want to get where I'm coming from here. Now, there are going to be some people who are still upset about the fact that you cannot get Darth Vader right out the gate at the very beginning. And I understand that. Trust me, I get both sides of the argument. When in law school, one of the things you got to learn about is understanding both parties, where they are coming from when you're looking at the facts. Make sure you write them out neutral so you can get a full sense of the picture. So, obviously, plenty of people out there who are buying a console game, they want everything right out of the gate, kind of like the previous Battlefront. We had all the heroes at the beginning, unless you didn't buy the season pass. The typical person buying a console game, they don't have all the time in the world. You guys are busy. You got a life, you got family, you got work. Trust me, I get you. I'm busy too. A lot of people just want the stuff right out of the gate. You only got an hour to play a week. You just want to play Darth Vader. You don't want to spend extra money or all this time to get him. And trust me, I totally get you there. Here's where I come from, and hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from here. I actually prefer games that do have that sense of pride and accomplishment, kind of like that downvoted comment from Electronic Arts. I do see the truth in there, and I do get where they're getting at to some extent here. 40 hours, way too much for a character, but 10 hours now for a really important character such as Darth Vader, to me, I kind of like that idea a little bit. I'm not sure if 10 hours is the sweet spot, but I do enjoy the fact of building towards something. I want to get to that point. I want to feel accomplished when I get there right away and unlock something. And I want to give you an example here. For example, Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, they can give you all the characters at the beginning, but what better feeling is it when you're playing the game and without you even paying attention, you get this notification? I love that feeling. I love that feeling where you worked hard in the game and all of a sudden you're going to fight a really big character. You have a chance to unlock them. It's a great feeling. I like that sense of accomplishment. Call of Duty kind of has the same thing where when you reach a certain level, you unlock a certain gun. Or for example, in Modern Warfare 2, when you got a certain number of nukes, you got that iconic nuke emblem. And it's a sign of accomplishment in the game. And it's something that separates you from the rest of the population in terms of how good you are, how much time you put in, etc., etc. But that's just me. I do enjoy some games where there's a progression to it where you kind of build up towards something. It's a sign of accomplishment. For you guys who played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, once you get that 7-star Darth Vader, it feels really darn good. This is one of the most popular characters in the Star Wars universe, and getting that 7-star Darth Vader, being one of the first to get a 7-star Darth Vader, really showed how good you are at the game, how dedicated you are to the game. And I think now with the 10-hour requirement, it shouldn't be too bad for most people to get. And of course, 10 hours is assuming you're not getting any sort of challenges to kind of help you get to that point. Anyways, hopefully you guys get where I'm coming from here, but let me know, how are these changes to you? Do you like the fact that we now have a 75% decrease in the credits needed for characters like Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Luke Skywalker? Is this enough for you, or do you want them to go all the way to 100%? Or are you kind of like me, where you do want a little bit of progression to make you feel accomplished once you finally reach that end goal for Darth Vader? I really want to hear your comments. Be sure to stay tuned once the game goes live for me. I did not get any early access codes like the other game changers who went to go to play Battlefront 2. I bought my own copy. It's going to come out 11 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to do a whole campaign walkthrough series for Battlefront 2. Really excited to see that. So if you want to see that and more Battlefront 2 content, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Come on, guys. You should have done it by now. And as always, guys,